And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Ghostel. Do you ever wonder why people in movies go stay at places that are clearly haunted? I've always wondered that. There's lots of hotels in an area. Go find one that's less haunted. There's no shame in running from ghosts, especially the ghosts in this game. Actually, it doesn't matter, because the ghosts in this game are you. You are playing as a ghost, trying to scare as many guests in a hotel. You're going to do this by moving a ghost and dropping scare dice. Essentially, it's a worker placement game that's using dice as the workers, and it's also an area control game where you're trying to have the most pips on your dice on the different people who are in this hotel, trying to scare the socks off them and make them flee from the hotel. Let's take a look at how it's played. The goal of this game is to get the most points, and you do that by scaring guests who come to the hotel. So you'll start the game by filling up each room in a hotel with these guests who were foolish enough to stay in a hotel that's full of ghosts. I guess my second row there is full of couples and here hanging out. So each of these guests is going to have a scare number on them. That's in the bottom corner. They also have sometimes a phobia, something they're afraid of. Alicia's afraid of walking dolls and things. Of course, I think I would be too. And then how many points that they give out. Sometimes there's something special about them. For example, Paul here needs to have 2 dice placed on him for it to work. Each player is going to get a ghost of their color, and they're also going to get 3 dice of their color. And on each round of the game, you're going to roll those dice, and that's going to determine the dice that you're placing this turn. Players are going to, the first turn, whoever rolls the highest goes first, all the way down to whoever rolls the lowest. After that, whoever has the most points will go first each round. Now, in your first turn, you'll just show up on the board somewhere, and you'll drop one of your scare dice here. So maybe the black ghost drops here, the red ghost comes here and drops a 1, the blue ghost comes here, drops a 3, the white ghost comes here and drops a 6. On the second turn, you can move 1 spot and drop another die. So maybe this happens here, the red player goes here and drops a 3, the blue player goes down here, drops a 5, the white player goes down here and drops a 3. On your third turn, you do the same thing again. However, if you want to, for example, the black goes, you can move back to where you started from, drops another die here, the red player goes here and drops a 5, the blue player goes here, drops a 2, and the white player goes back up here and drops a 3. All right, so now we're going to resolve each of these. So we start up here. Alicia needs 5. There's 5 pips there, so she is scared. The red ghost has the most, actually the only, so they get 8 points. Here, there's 2 ghosts. Black has 4, red has 3, so black gets 8 points, and red gets 4 points as indicated on Steven, and then he's removed from the board. Here, there's not enough to get Paul. There's not enough. Here, the white ghost would get Amber and Steven by themselves, so they would score 12 points. Not enough. The ghosts all come off the board after their last time. And then the guests here calm down a bit. So each die is reduced by 1. If it is at 1, it comes off the board like this. So they're all going to calm down a little bit. And then you're going to fill up the board with some new guests and prepare for the next round. Now here's a thing. First of all, between rounds, players can buy cards. The cards are going to cost you points that you have scored. You can buy up to 2 cards between rounds. So let's say I buy this one, well then I have to pay 3 points. Now terror ones are going to be one of 2 things. It will either give you an extra die, no matter what, there's plenty of dice in this game, so even if you leave dice on the board, you're always going to roll 3 dice, but if you have this, you'll roll an extra die, and then you choose your best 3. This one lets you upgrade one of your 6-sided dice to an 8-sided dice, which could be amazing. So that's essentially what these cards are, the terror bonuses. The scare tactics are going to show different phobias of the guests. When you play a die, if you have the matching phobia cards, so let's say I have a die, I'm placing it here in Beth, I can put this 6 here, and then I can put this phobia chip underneath it if I play this, and that will double it. That is now a 12. So having the right phobias, you can really scare people. And then these cards here, the spooky favors, are just special things. Change a terror die to a 6. Walk through a wall, like you can go to any room in the house. I got chills. You can make somebody have all the phobias. And so different cards like that, they're basically special cards. And that's it. You're just going to keep playing from round to round until you can no longer put guests out, at which point whoever has the most points is the winner. The game also, or at least my game, came with a mini creepy cultist expansion, which adds some cultists here. And when these are resolved, they score points like normal. However, whoever has the lowest total on them also gets to draw a little cult chip, which could be all sorts of things. This gives you a free spooky favor card. Sometimes it lets you put out a 6 as one of your dice, things like that. And you can add these to the deck and make the game slightly longer, or just replace 10 guests with the different cultists. That's how you play. All right, so Ghostel is a game that, first of all, really looks good on the table. I really like the dice. The ghosts are big and chunky. The pictures of the people are great. They're just as caricatures, scared people. The symbols are pretty simple. There's a little card that comes for each player that explains what some of the symbols are anyway. But it just is a really great looking production. With the minor exception that I really think that this is a game that could be played with kids. It's not a hard game to play. It's simple. It's a family style game. And yet some of the stuff, like the people are like, okay, ha ha ha, the ghost scared them. But then there's pentagrams and those symbols are a little spooky. So the box actually says 14 plus, but I wish that they had made it slightly family friendly because the game isn't really that horrific anyway. I don't think the theme matters. It's more silly, woo, and you run from the hotel. But it almost has an a poltergeist type vibe to it. Just goes a little bit step too far, I thought. And I feel like that limits the audience. That being said, the gameplay itself is, like I said, simple and fun. You're putting your ghost down and you're dropping the dice down. Now, hopefully you want to put your big dice on people that do well, and you'll sit there and go, man, that's not fair, I rolled low. But if you roll low, you also get to go last, which lets you put your dice out after everyone else does, and you can drop a die with 1 pip, in an area that people have already won and just grab some free third place points. And I think that the game really does well with that. If you're playing 2 players, you each play 2 ghosts, which is okay, but I think the game really shines with 3. Actually, I think 3 is better than 4. 4 is fine, but 4, the people are popping everywhere. You know, you're scaring them right and left. But with 3, you have to really kind of think carefully where you put people, and your people are going to be calming down, and your dice will drop down. I like the ability to buy cards between turns. I like that you can get the things that they're afraid of, the scare tactics cards, where they have a phobia against something. You can double a die and really suddenly win something out of nowhere. The special cards, which do random things. The terror bonus cards, I like them, but I almost feel like they're necessary. See, the rest of it's like, do you want to spend points to buy something that will hopefully get you more points later on? The terror bonus, roll 4 dice and keep 3 of them. That's a huge benefit. Or upgrade 1 to an 8-sided die. Not as big of a benefit. It can be, but your chance of rolling a 7-8 isn't that much. But you get the +1 die and turn one of your dice into an 8-sided die. That's going to cost you 6 points. But if you do that at the beginning of the game, that's pretty powerful. You're going to sit there and be able to maybe get a 4 and 2 6s or something because of the different dice that you've rolled. So I like that. I just wish it wasn't so obvious that you should buy those. And maybe people have played it say it's not obvious. I don't know. But to me, it felt like that was a clearly good thing to do, get more of those. But that's okay. I still think the game is light and fun and frothy enough, but at the same time offers some really good choices. Am I going to try to just drop dice all over the place and get those 2nd and 3rd places and get a lot of points that way? Am I going to go for the gusto and go for this person who's worth 15 points and try to score a whole pile of points? It mixes area control, which I like, along with the moving the ghost and dropping dice, which is something I like, along with a theme that's kind of fun and silly for the most part. So I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this one. Ghostel. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool Stuff, in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.
Shut the door.